So after getting several complaints on how to build a strong workbench, I'm coming at you guys with a new video for how to build a workbench. So I hope you guys enjoy this take a lot better. Alright, to start with this project, I purchased 10 2x4s at my lumber yard, and they're all 8 feet long. Now I'm going to cut 8 pieces at 4 feet, and I'm going to cut 8 pieces at 3 feet, so I can build the skeleton of my workbench. So what you can do is set 2 of these aside because none of these are going to be your leg or side rails. These are actually going to be what go in between to hold up the tops and make it a lot stronger. And now I'm ready to start cutting out these pieces. What I like to do when I'm cutting long 2x4s is add some support, so I'm not trying to hold it all at the base of the miter saw. So what I do is I stack 2 2x4s, and this is just enough to keep it perfectly level. And now I can take my measuring tape and measure out my 4 feet and my 3 feet pieces. So I'm going to measure out a 4-foot section, and I'm just going to put a mark here. And now using my speed square, I can take it, butt it up, and just make a mark so that the line is all the way across. And what I like to do is mark 4 feet. And now I'm ready to cut. So now I have one 3-foot board and one 4-foot board, and now I have to have 8 of each. So I'm going to cut out 7 more. Alright, so I cut all my main pieces now. I have 8 4-foot pieces, 8 3-foot pieces. And you can set the 4-foot pieces aside for now. I'm going to take 2 of the 3-foot pieces, and I'm going to glue them and screw them together. So I'm laminating it so it's about a 4x4. Then I'll have 4 legs like this. So basically, taking 2 off, and I'm going to try to get the nice side on the outside. So this is the rough side. That will be an inside piece, and this will be an inside piece. And I'm going to take some glue, pour it on pretty thick, and that's really all I'm going to do. I'm not even going to bother spreading it on because I can just wipe off all the excess glue. And now I can take some screws and screw them all together. And you want one end, it doesn't really matter about lining it up too much. And now I have one screw on this side, and now I can pivot this to get the exact angle I want. And I can put a screw in this side. And now with all the extra glue, I can just wipe it off the sides. So I wiped off the extra glue, and I'm going to add about 2 more screws on each of the inside pieces. So you're going to want to do this with all the 3-foot pieces, so you'll have 4 of these total, and these are going to make for nice strong legs. Alright, so I still want this workbench to be about the same height as this one, maybe ½ an inch taller, and I also want to add casters onto it. So to do that, I have to measure the height of this, and this is just under 36 inches. I think this one is going to be 36 inches exactly, so I need to make all these legs 32.5 inches plus this 3.5 inch wheel, and I'll get exactly 36 inches. I'm going to start by shaving off just a tad bit of this so I know it's exactly square and equal. And now I have that nice flat face. And from there, I'm going to measure 32.5. Now in order to make it a perfect 4-foot by 4-foot workbench, I have to shave 3 inches off each end of 4 of my 4-foot long lengths. So instead of having 8 4-foot long lengths, I'm going to have 4 4-foot long lengths and 4 45-inch lengths. You'll see this later because it will be easier to explain then. So I'm taking a different approach to this workbench. Normally I'll have this up here, so I have a little bit of length between the ground, but since I'm putting casters on it, I'm just going to put it all the way down so then I can maximize my shelf space as well. And both of these two pieces are the 45-inch pieces. So now I have one of these done, and you need to make one exactly like this. Well, I guess this will do. Alright, so now I have to connect it all together. Alright, so now I have added 2 4-foot long blocks. This is one 4-foot long 2x4, and this is the other 4-foot long 2x4. Now here's where cutting the 3 inches off came into play. Alright, so right here is 1.5 inches. And right here is 1.5 inches, and together that's 3 inches. And if I wanted a perfect 48 by 48, then I needed to cut it off. So that's what I did, because this is the inside piece. So now I have a perfect 4-foot by 4-foot. And what I'm going to do is set this on the ground, probably put a clamp on one side, screw it, get it real nice and tight, and do that for all 4 sides, then flip it and do the same. And the reason I moved into my garage for this part is because this cement is like perfectly flat. If you compare it to the cement out there, that cement goes on a slight angle, and this will make my table very flat and very stable. Now inside here, if I left it all open, it wouldn't be that strong. So what I'm going to do is add a few braces going across to basically make it a lot stronger. So now I'm going to cut 4 pieces at about 45 inches for the inside so it can steady out the workbench. So now I'm going to take this 45 piece, one of them, and I had marked a 24-inch mark because this is exactly the center. So when I put in the board, I want to have a spot to screw it into. So I can just line it up on each side and start drilling this in. And just do the same thing for the other side. So I think that's all the support I really need, and I'm not going to use the other 2. What you could do is put them on the inside of each or something like that. It doesn't really matter because it seems pretty darn stable. Now I need to cut out a spot for the bottom shelf, and these right here I need to notch out 5 inches deep and 4.5 across. So I'm going to do that with my circular saw. And you can really see that this fit together very nicely. And I'm sorry for all the shadows, guys, but it's really sunny out here. So I think this came out really nice. And now I'm going to put the casters on. So when I flip it on the top, if I put the top on, I wouldn't want the top to get wrecked. So I'm going to put the casters on now. So I rolled this one in the workshop and it is all ready to go. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more woodworking videos every Tuesday. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking, what happened to the big workbench? Well, let's take a look. Well, here it is. Well, I basically got rid of it because now I have all this room in my workshop to move around. I got this dresser here to store stuff in, and I can move this wherever need be. So basically it gives me a lot more floor space, and I saw the whole idea of that huge workbench from Steve Ramsey's video, and I thought he gets a lot of use out of it, but his shop is also a 2-car garage. Mine's only a single, so I didn't really have the room for it, and I think this one fits my shop a lot better. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more woodworking videos every Tuesday. Before I go, I just want to mention that I'm actually going to be selling the workbench, and this is a great deal, guys. Only about $200 or $300. I'm gonna have the starting bids on eBay. You know, head over there, start bidding, and all the profit goes to me, so it's a good cause. I'm just joking, guys. I'll see you guys next Tuesday.